Okay, so in this video, we are starting a new topic of networks. And I just wanted to start off this series just by introducing the topic of networks in a way that relates to experiences we may have already had with this concept in a number of different ways. Now, you can see two examples that I've done here, and this is just to kind of illustrate what we are going to be talking about. Now, when we consider networks, we are basically just looking at a system of connected parts, okay? So in example one, you can see here, I have written down a friend network. So what I have here is essentially a diagram. Now I have all of these points on here. We are going to define all of these and give all the formal definitions pretty soon as well. But you have all these different people. So you have person A, person B, person C, D, and E. Now, these dots represent all of these people, right? And you can see these lines connecting them. Now, with a friend network, you have a connection with another person, right? So you can see A here is connected to B only. So you can say that the person A, we'll leave the terminology for the next video, but the person A is connected to the person B. They have a connection. They are friends, okay? B, for example, is connected to A, it's connected to D, and it's connected to person E. Person C is just connected to person E. Person D is just connected to person B. Now, when, for example, social media came out initially, they called this a social network, right? It was a way for people to connect with others. Now, a visual network, or what we call a network diagram, which is something like this thing that I've drawn here, shows us the connection between different parts. Now, this is shown with these lines connecting. These are what we call edges. We will formally define these in the next video. And all of these parts that are connected, we call these vertices. Each one is called a vertex. Vertices is the plural. Now, one example as well that you may have come across is what's called for example, a train network. If you catch public transport, you know that trains have different stops, okay? So here's stop A, and this connects to stop B, stop D as well, and B connects to C here as well. Now, what you can see here is that I've labeled these edges with these numbers. Now, these numbers, we're going to talk about them a lot more in the next video, but they are what we call weighted edges. So they have a certain number or weight associated to them. So this could be, for example, distance, it could be time, it could be any quantity that you can assign to this connection between the different vertices. Now, this could be time, for example. Say to get from station A to station D, it will take you 5 minutes. To get from station A to station B, it'll take you 7 minutes. To get from B to C, 13 minutes. This could also be distances. So the distance between A to D is 5 kilometers. These weighted edges can take up any unit of measurement we desire. But essentially, both these examples that we've just touched on, a friend network and a train network, we've pretty much interacted with these throughout our lives, but this is essentially just a way that we can represent information. With a friend network, it's people being connected to others, so having different friends. For example, person B is quite popular. They have 3 different friends here compared to person C and person D and person A, who just have one friend, one connection here. A train network is essentially a system of all these different stations connected by railway tracks. So there's all these different connections we can make between these different stops. Now, to summarize what we've talked about, I've got a couple of key ideas here which kind of formally define a network. So a network is a term to describe a group or system of interconnected objects. That's basically what we have up here. We have a group of objects, A, B, C, D, and they are all interconnected in some way. They are all connected to one another in some way. Now, these networks consist of what we call vertices. That's what we talked about, each of these points, and edges, the lines that connect these points together. And the edges indicate a path or route between two vertices. So B and C are connected with this edge. A and B are connected with this edge, A and D with this edge. And same with the friend network in example 1. But this is just a kind of soft launch into our new topic to define a network and relate it to some real world examples that you have come across in the past. In the next video, we will look at formally defining the different aspects of networks too. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next.